be ready. Winter is coming.
You know nothing about the Danish winter. And neither do I, because sometimes it snows a lot, sometimes it's really icy, and sometimes it's just gray. But it tends to be really muddy and slippery the entire winter through in Denmark. And yeah, I know I talked about using the Datsun as a winter daily. And I was really tempted to do that because it's rear-wheel drive. That's fun in the snow. It got a trailer hitch. That's really usable because I have a trailer. But then I had it in the garage yesterday and I had to back it out of the garage, and it's slightly uphill out there, and it had been raining a little bit, and then I got stuck. I got stuck in a little puddle of mud, and it's going to be impossible to get the Datsun in and out of my driveway, especially the back one, which I use pretty regularly, because if I block the entrance, then I can't get other cars in. The Datsun would be fun in the snow, but it's not gonna work. And to be honest, the Datsun is too good to be used in the snow. At least that's my plan for now, because the Niva is the perfect winter car. This car is, I'm not gonna say a rough diamond, it's just rough, but I really love it. It's a nice patina that it got, but it's really rough. It's never gonna be a nice looking Lada Niva. The paint, it's going to take so much work to get this down to metal if you wanted to have a nice paint job. So this would be perfect to drive around in the winter. It's pretty rusty, but as you have seen, I have fixed most of the rust. I still need to do some stuff around, but it's a very basic car. It would be pretty easy to just weld up whenever it gets rusty. So really, this is the perfect fun and usable car for the winter. But I really need to get going, because not only do I need to do a lot of work to this also needs to be imported, and it will take some time, at least a couple of weeks, to just get the tax calculated and all that. But I just sold the Trabant, so now I actually can afford to pay that tax and get this on the road. So I'm gonna try to strap in and get this done. And hey, come on, this is perfect for a winter car. And I really love my lift, but it's a big problem that I tend to get cars with really short wheelbase. As you can maybe see, it's not possible to lift this car unless I take off the wheels, because the wheels would jam upon the lift. Thereby it will not be lifted on the lifting points, but on the wheels, which would make everything very unstable. I could, of course, make a mountain of rubber blocks underneath there to take up that slack and then be able to lift it. But then, once again, it would be very unstable. So what I'm going to attempt is to lift up the front, remove the tires, and hopefully be able to lower it onto the lifting points and do the same on the rear. I'm not sure it will work, but I will try. And then I hope to be able to lower it down, but I'm unsure if it's possible without stacking a lot of these. I would like to have it like that, but that won't be possible. But maybe like this, or maybe like this. But I'm not sure if the subframe will hit the floor before reaching that point, but let's try to lower it gently. That was not gently. There's a long way still. As you can see, we're not going to be able to go much slower than this. Now we're just about to hit, and we still have some way to go. Actually, I think this is possible. I think I can raise the lift slightly. It might foul on the disc. Doesn't really matter. We're going to change everything if we damage it. But let's just try to lift it a little bit and see what happens. Yeah, there we go. We actually have contact now between the car, and we're not hitting this. Actually, I dropped it off the jacks a while back, so the bottom end of the dust shield is damaged, but not a big deal. But this seems to work. I just need to do something about the rear, and then I'm gonna struggle a little bit with getting it down. But let's take that at a later point, because it's going to be on the lift for a while, because we're gonna change a lot of stuff. Not today, but we're gonna begin on it. So I'm gonna go to the rear and try to do the same. We need to rise it up a bit more, I think. That's a bit better. Another winter tire. Winter is heavy. As you can see, we have a brake issue. That is brake fluid. We have a leaking brake cylinder. No surprise, we're going to change pretty much everything on the braking system. And for once, we're not going to rebuild much of it, because a lot of parts came with this car, and I just sold the Panda when I bought it, so I had some money burning in my pocket. And the spare parts for this car is really cheap, so I just bought so much stuff that I actually forgot about. So we don't need to buy very much, but we're going to change a lot of stuff already. I still need some bearings and stuff though. There we go, I think it is now resting. So now comes the really exciting part, because all the jacking mounts that the car is now resting on has been welded on by me. I'm no expert welder, so let's hope it doesn't just go through the body. So far, so good. Ah, it seems pretty sturdy. Nice. I have never owned a Lada Niva before, but this seems to be not the way it's supposed to be. This car seems to have been lifted, but not in the best way. It's just been lifted by having some distance block between the mounting points, and thereby lifting the entire assembly. That is not going to do much good to the geometry of the steering, and also it is not legal in my country. All that is going off. We're actually going to change a lot of parts in here. We're going to change the brake calipers, the springs, the spring mounts, the disc, and the bearings most likely as well. And the bushings in here are pretty worn as well. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed. Oh, the ball joint rubber is split as well on this. So I either have to change the rubber or the ball joint. And as you can see, it is about time to do something about this spring mount, because yeah, it is supposed to be up here all the way around. It has just completely rusted away. Flakes are just, yeah, it is about to collapse really. I hope to just be able to change these. I think the frame behind it is all right. I really hope it is, but we need to do something about that. Then we need to do some fixing on the inner wheel well. It's actually pretty solid, but it has been covered by fiberglass, so I have to get that off and find out. There's a reason why you do that. One thing could be to try to protect the paint from chips and stones and stuff like that. I'm more inclined to believe that they have done that to cover up a lot of rust. So I'm gonna have to do something about that. The rear arches, I don't think they have rusted away, but when I got this car, it was fitted with really big wheels, not the ones that I just took off, but some other ones that I have lying in the back. They were really big. Also, it was lifted. I really think this has been an off-road monster in Lithuania. But someone made these fender flares, which are pretty rough and agricultural, and I'm pretty sure they won't be legal either because they are protruding too much and too sharp and all that for my country. So I'm gonna cut them away, and then my plan is to make these fit, because I think that would look rather smart and cheap, because these were cheap. Fixing the wheel arches would be a bit more expensive because there's a lot of welding involved, and also it would yeah. I like the look of this car, and you might disagree, and I can totally understand that, but if I start welding stuff up, I need to paint it, and I will never get it to match up with the look that it got right now. Of course, this is a new part, so it will also look a bit out of place, but it's not bad. I like it. We also have some work to do at the front end. One thing is someone cut a piece out to fit a wrench. I don't think I'm going to fit a wrench, and I think I'm just going to cover up this hole because it is compromising the structural rigidity of the car. Not by a lot, I think, but still, I think I'm just going to weld it up. Then the front grille part of this is not the right one for the vintage of the car. This is from I think it's from the 90s, I'm not sure. I really didn't like it when I got the car, but I have started to actually like the look of this plastic grille. So I haven't really decided about that, but I did go ahead and buy one that is supposed to fit on this vintage, I'm pretty sure of, in black. I think maybe it was chrome. I'm not sure which way is up and down, but I'm undecided whether this is going on or not, but I have it. And then the bumper was missing, and I bought another one. Just gonna have to make it fit. At the rear, we're going to change the brake liners and the brake cylinders and the lines and all that. We're also going to change the spring and remove the lifting blocks. And also you might see that we have some holes that I need to take care of. But this is it, and I actually pretty much forgot. I can remember I bought something, and I can remember that some parts came with it, but I have really bought a lot of stuff. I can already now see that I missed some stuff, but I got pretty much everything that I need, which is great because it's not keeping it on the budget because I did pay for all this stuff, but it's a long time ago. So there are new springs, there are new brake lines. There's a 4-speed gearbox. I'm not going to use that. I think I'm going to try to sell it, but mine's got a 5-speed gearbox, which is not original, but it's pretty much the same gearbox. It's just have an added 5th gear. So I think that would be a good thing for daily use. There's a transfer case also. All the rubbers needed for the car. To make it a bit more weatherproof. These are the parts that I just showed you at the front end, which was completely rusted away. We got new of those. Cool mud flaps. Brake calipers. Yes, this is actually the brake caliper. It's a bit special. Shock absorbers, and this just shows how easy it is to get parts to this. I normally struggle to get parts for all the old projects, but on a Lada Niva you can get everything, and it's really cheap, and it was really hard to control myself. So complete set of coolant pipes at really low cost. Yeah, I couldn't help myself, I just bought it. I got new brake discs, new shock absorbers for the front end, oil filter, brake liners for the rear, air filter, brake master, thermostat, you name it. I got so much stuff. Carb rebuild kit, water pump. Oh yeah, and these inner wheel arches from the rear. I'm just going to cut the pieces out that I need, and then I'm going to install them. Then I got a complete new exhaust system. I got a new liner for the roof. Yeah, I got a lot of parts, so it's going to be different than what I'm usually do, because I'm not going to rebuild much. I'm pretty much just going to take stuff off, put it back on. A bit against my mentality really, but in this case, also knowing that this Lada has had a really rough life and I'm going to use it as a winter driver, I want it to be safe and reliable. So I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. And yeah, I know, reliable, an old Russian car. We'll see about that. There's a little to-do list on this car, and I'm just going to go ahead, and I think you can expect the next couple of videos being about this one. No, I'm not going to stop making videos on the Saab and all that, but I really have to hurry up and get this car MOT'd, and I hope to do that within a couple of weeks. But let's see. I have a tendency to change plans from time to time, and I think you have noticed that. And also, I told you about this project being an overlander. I still have that plan in mind, but now I'm just going to get it on the road, then I can take all that stuff later on. I think the next video will come up in a couple of days' time, and it will most likely be about disassembling the front end and changing all that stuff, but let's see. Thank you for watching, thank you for all the support, and see you in the next one.